As fast as marketing is changing, we're really engaging in some very unique and fun conversations with our clients. And what the conversation we're having is, how do I take where I am today from a marketing perspective, look forward 5 years and say, how do I future-proof my marketing, right? How do I make sure that as an organization we're staying ahead of our competitors, ahead of the marketplace, and ahead of any needs that might come up? And the reality is there's no guarantee, but there's certain things we can do today to make sure that we're putting the best practices in place going forward. And what we're finding are some common challenges, right? Typically what we're seeing is that organizations have a marketing strategy and they have a digital strategy. And now we're trying to get those two strategies to integrate and talk to each other. And the gap tends to be the level of folks they have in those roles. I typically have a very strategic CMO, but do I have a senior enough level digital person that can work hand in hand with them to bring marketing to the next stage? When I say the next stage, 5 years from now, we're not going to be talking about digital marketing and traditional marketing. It's all just going to be marketing. But what it takes to get there is two very senior people who are working together. The problem is most organizations only have one. You need a CMO who understands your brand, understands your customer, understands your insights around market research and your products and where things are going from a marketing perspective. And then you need a very senior person on the digital side who can understand SEO and paid search and web analytics and Google Analytics and all the things that come with the online world that are changing online media buying, and bring those two things together. And what we're finding is that most organizations that are big and complex, really one person can't do all that. And so in most organizations have either underhired on the CMO or underhired on the head of digital. And what we need to do is be able to upgrade the talent in each organization depending on where they're short. So as organizations are coming to grips with all the changes in marketing, understanding that I need a CMO level person who is a big strategist and a big thinker from a marketing perspective. And I need a head of digital, a chief digital officer, an SVP of digital, who really understands the strategic insight and how to take that forward. And now those two individuals are working to integrate those into one marketing platform and one marketing program. The question becomes, who's more senior, right? And how do those two people still function together? And where we have seen it best is the CMO is still the head of all marketing. And the digital person does report to that individual. But it is by far and away a clear number two within the organization. So you have number one marketing person as your chief marketing officer, and your number two marketing person is definitely going to be your digital person right now to help the organization move forward. So now what we've said is you've got your chief marketing officer who's leading marketing, your chief digital officer who's the clear number two, and is ultimately going to end up with a lot of responsibility around budget and spend and team, and will probably have the largest team. But 5 years from now, if there's not going to be digital marketing and traditional marketing, what does that mean for those two roles? And the reality is, I think in most organizations, you're going to see that chief digital officer over time ascend to the CMO seat. So by now we know your organization has the basics for marketing automation and marketing analytics in place, and now we're moving forward from that foundation and saying, we really need to have a senior level digital leader. But why? Why is that person more important than my brand person or my PR person or my market research person? And the reality is it's two things. One is you've got to have a succession plan for your CMO, and it's most likely that as the world continues to change and the speed of that evolution, that person's going to come from digital. It's also the reality that some of your brightest marketers figured out a long time ago that digital was going to be the place to grow their career, and so you have a lot of intellectual horsepower on the digital side. And then third, it's a supply and demand issue. Every organization wants to have a really senior level person on the digital side because they understand the value and the return on the investment. And so the demand for those individuals outstrips supply, which is pushing their cost up and really making the top ones very hard to find and very important to your organization. Now we look at the landscape for digital talent, and we've basically said that number two person in your marketing department needs to be this head of digital, right? More and more often we're hearing from companies, well, you know what, I hired that person, or I hired the person I thought could fill that role, and things didn't work out anywhere near what we expected. So now we're going to change, and I'm not going to hire that person. I'm going to hire someone more junior, or I'm going to outsource it, which is very dangerous from a digital perspective. And really the problem isn't the fact that that person didn't work out. The problem is we didn't understand how to interview and vet that talent in the first place. There's many people out there who say, I'm a digital marketer, I'm a digital professional. And the reality is most aren't. So only about 1 out of 5 people that say they really understand digital marketing really do. And that's our job as your digital marketing executive search partner, is to find out and separate the really superstar talent from those folks that really honestly believe in their heart that they can do the job, but just aren't up for the task. The other thing that's very interesting about digital talent, what I will say is senior level digital talent, and really the transformative talent that can take your organization and move it forward, is many times they're really young. And so what we have to be able to find as an organization is, within our culture, are we able to take this young person who's very bright and knows way more about digital than some of our other senior leaders and accept them onto our team and enable them to be successful? Or are we looking at this is someone who I shouldn't be working for this person should be working for me for the next 10 years? And do we have that corporate jealousy? And are we going to try to set that person up to fail? Or are we going to try to sabotage that person when in reality, that's the person that's going to move us forward?